Patients are also getting younger. Nearly half of all cardiac arrests are happening to people under the age of 65.
I don't fit the profile of what someone thinks of when I think heart problems.
Lauren Ross was just 28 years old when she went into cardiac arrest while out at the job.
I remember looking at my Fitbit to check my heart rate, but I remember thinking, I'm going to turn around and go home. I don't remember anything from that point on.
Fast action, complete strangers, saved their life.
Airstrike
Two
is ready.
employees were driving by at the time of my arrest, and they stopped, and one started CPR. If there was no bystander intervention, bystander CPR, I wouldn't be allowed to tell you this story today.
Ross's story underscores the importance of everyone learning simple CPR techniques or knowing where a defibrillator is located inside a building.
You don't need to take a course in order to recognize that somebody's in cardiac arrest, call 911, shout for an AED, and push hard and fast.
She was on the way to the hospital, but she didn't make it.
Far too many Canadians simply don't survive the medical emergency. Sarah Lush's sister Robin just lost her husband to cancer. Days later, a 40-year-old widow and mother went into cardiac arrest while at home by herself.
Our family struggled with different kinds of heart issues that we never really looked into because it was a never us moment.
Until it was. Robin leaves behind a 14-year-old son. On average, one person in this country suffers a cardiac arrest every 9 minutes. Omar?
All right, Adrian, thank you. And there is more sobering health data tonight on the global burden of cancer. The World Health Organization is now projecting 1 in 5 people will develop cancer in their lifetime. And by 2050, there will be more than 35 million new cancer cases, a 77% increase from the estimated 20 million cases in 2022. The leading forms of cancer are lung, breast, colorectal, prostate, and stomach. The head of Canada's intelligence agency defended the approach to secrecy today at a federal inquiry into foreign meddling in Canadian politics. CTV's Jeremy Sharon reports.
A push for as much transparency as possible. That was the focus as the director of Canada's spy agency testified today at the inquiry into foreign election interference.
In order to build a resilience and reassure Canadians, especially about the electoral processes, that there would be a need to have more information in the public domain.
David Vigneault indicated the government has come up with procedures to provide summaries and edited versions of secret documents to assist the inquiry in its work. Some human rights groups already have concerns about the process.
I lost my voice, and I'm not optimistic.
A group advocating for China's minority Uyghurs here in Canada has backed out of the inquiry over concerns about 3 individuals with alleged ties to China being granted standing.
They should be answering questions, not examining witnesses. And they decided that the victims of foreign interference and alleged perpetrators seem to be misplaced.
This preliminary round of hearings setting the stage for March. The inquiry will address alleged interference in the 2019 and 2021 elections by countries like China, India, and Russia. But this former CSIS director says Canada's national security services could be more transparent.
I think another area that's worth thinking about is our allies, our close allies, are much more open than we are. They really protect their core secrets, but the Brits, the Yanks, the Australians tend to be much more open than Canada is.
Tomorrow, the inquiry will hear Public Safety Minister Dominic LeBlanc before pausing until the next round of hearings. Omar?
All right, Jeremy, thank you. The White House took an unprecedented step today to stem surging violence against Palestinians in the West Bank.
It is very much to send a message that we think more needs to be done by the government of Israel.
U.S. President Joe Biden imposed financial sanctions on 4 Israeli settlers accused of attacking Palestinians and peace activists in the occupied territory. Israel's Prime Minister blasted. European Union leaders have unanimously approved a €50 billion aid package for Ukraine.
This is a clear signal that Ukraine will withstand and that
his own social media app carried a new message.
This sound isn't available because of copyright violation. Fans were outraged.
Wake up! It's the first of the... I'm never gonna have a good month again.
The takedown came after Universal, that owns 1/3 of the world's music, made good on its threat, pulling permission to use the music on TikTok after a nasty contract fight over money and royalties.
This does look like a war between TikTok and Universal, given the language that each party has been throwing back and forth.
In an open letter, Universal accused TikTok of bullying and not paying fair value for the music. TikTok charged Universal with putting their own greed above the interest of their artists and songwriters. With its short video clips, TikTok has revitalized classics. Megastars have become soundtracks to lip-sync videos and viral dance challenges. TikTok fame is also a great promotional platform for emerging artists. Canadian musician Carl Wolf owns his own material, but used to be with Universal.
As I was looking at TikTok today, and just looking at all my catalog, all my songs from Universal, they aren't there anymore.
It's not just a dispute over money. Universal accuses TikTok of trying to flood its platform with AI-generated music.
There's concern that platforms like TikTok may circumvent licensing agreements entirely by using artificial intelligence to come up with innocuous music that has no copyright claimed on it whatsoever. Therefore, they don't have to pay anything.
The last time there was a standoff like this was in 2008 when Warner pulled its music videos from YouTube. That dispute lasted 9 months, Omar.
All right, Joy, thanks. Coming up, the sorrow after the storm.
I feel like I've lost the first 60 years of my life.
The lingering devastation more than a year after Hurricane Fiona. Plus, race car driver Lewis Hamilton shifts gears. The terrifying impact of one of the most powerful and destructive storms in Canadian history is still being felt in Atlantic Canada, almost a year and a half after it slammed the region. As CTV's Garrett Barry shows us, in a small town in southwestern Newfoundland, even as people try to push forward, there are reminders of the past.
The storm ravaged this town. Houses, lives pushed into the ocean. Much of it is now still being found. Ocean Cleanup Crew Clean Harbor Initiative is back in Port aux Basques this week. They've been here several times since Fiona hit.
It gets pretty emotional when you're hauling up, like, especially pieces of headstones and stuff like that. So this is someone's family member that's probably not there anymore.
If you look closely in this town, you'll see little reminders of what's been lost. This white picket fence is one example, the biggest indication that there was a whole house here.
Around 60 more are about to come down. The ones inside what's called the high impact zone, areas that are at high risk of water damage. Homeowners will be bought out by the provincial government.
Well, here we are 2 years later, and more homes are going down, and more families and more neighbors are going to be gone.
Peggy Savory knows what it's like to lose almost everything. Her blue house was in that iconic picture seen around the world before it collapsed after the storm.
It's not the things, but I feel like I've lost the first 60 years of my life, and now I have to start over for whatever years I have left, if that makes sense.
She says losing a house is traumatic, and she feels compassion for the others in town who are losing their homes now. Garrett Barry, CTV News, Port aux Basques.
Still ahead, the ultimate claw machine, rescuing the trapped toddler who took matters into his own hands.